Today we talk about creating a basic web API using C#, .NET 6, and with Windows authentication. During this process, we'll create our first web API endpoint. So first of all, what is web API? Web API is a framework that makes it easy to build HTTP services that reach a broad range of clients, including browsers and mobile devices. ASP.NET Web API is a great platform for building RESTful applications using .NET 6 or previous .NET frameworks as well. In this video, I have created it's a series of videos where this is our first part, and we'll talk about creating a basic API in first instance, and in subsequent videos we'll talk about how to test these APIs in different applications like Postman, set up a camel case JSON properties for response, set up a standard response, and solving core issues using credentials and so on and so forth. Right, in here we have different templates, but we'll choose ASP.NET Core API templates. The reason is it will give us a little bit groundwork, so we don't have to start from scratch. So we'll select our template, we click on next. Let's give it a name. Click on create. So now you can see we are using .NET 6 and an authentication type we'll choose Windows. We'll leave rest of configuration as it is. I will explain in subsequent video what they are and what they represent. Now if we click on create, now you can see Visual Studio has given me a basic API that has inbuilt Swagger in it, and we have weather forecast API. Let's try to run it and let's see what happened. So I tried to build, all builds successful. Let's run. Right, you can see we have a weather forecast API with integration with Swagger. We can try it out. If we can execute, it will give us quick response, and this is our existing default API. So let's create a new API just to give you understanding how we can create it. Let's create an API that, remember, we created authentication model Windows authentication. So let's see if we want to show which user is actually logged in. So you can see in here we are using Windows authentication just to confirm. Let's create a new API endpoint. To do that, you need to create a new controller. Add controller, let's say empty controller. We need to give this controller a name. Let's see, it's a user controller because we want to show current user. Right. So you can see this controller is inherited with controller. Let's inherit with base controller base, and we need to decorate it So we want to give we want to tell .NET that this is API controller. So API controller, we need to define root. So root is actually the URL of our endpoint. We can say that root can be a default controller name. So to do that, we say it's controller. Now we don't need this action result. Now we need to create a getter. So get method. In this method, we will just show our identity user. So public string get. Now this is string type, so we have to return our username. But before that, we need to decorate this method with get. So let's say it's http get name. So let's say get current user. Right. It's a little bit different how we get identity user in our in ASP.NET Core and .NET 6. In .NET Framework, we used to have something like request context. We will write RequestContext.Principal.Identity.Name. So identity will give us all information of current user, and the name is actually the name of this current user. But in here we have HTTP context. So let's say name is HTTP context. Doesn't like it, so let's see what's wrong. User dot identity. So now we get identity. We need to get name and let's return this name. Now let's save it and let's try to run. You can see we have our new endpoint user. Before that, we used to only have weather forecast. We have now user. Let's click on try. Let's see what happened. Execute. And you can see it gives me my current username because I have done Windows authentication and this is my user that I'm logged in. So this is a simple explanation how you can create a web API, how you can create a simple endpoint, and yeah, so